And also by Michelle Goldberg, a senior writer of Newsweek magazine and the Daily Beast. Welcome to you both. Let's start with you, Michelle. So there was Anne Romney last night at the stage below us, directly appealing to women, looking into the women's eyes of America. Did she convince you?
I'm sure that she convinced many women that Mitt Romney would be an excellent candidate for husband. But that's not really what this is about. I mean, essentially, she told people what I think most of us already know, which is that one of Mitt Romney's best qualities is his luxuriousness. He's very life, as is Obama. So we have two excellent family men. But I don't think she did anything. You know, I actually don't think...
But isn't that important? Because she's trying to make this very unaverage family seem average.
I actually think that a lot of women's reluctance to support the Republican Party has something to do with policy. You know, it's not just that he's stiff and awkward. He might be an off-putting character, but I actually think the real problem is the party has an off-putting platform.
Okay. Frank, let's turn to you. How important, first of all, give me the clear numbers, are women in this election?
There's a gender gap, and there's always been one, and it seems to be a little bit larger this time than in the past. The Democrats cannot get men. White men just will not vote for Barack Obama. Mitt Romney's having a problem with women now, which is why Anne Romney was so important. And she's right, there is a policy issue. But the highest priority, the highest value among women, undecided women, are jobs. And we've got an 8.3% unemployment rate, 23 million Americans out of work. So Mitt Romney's got to convince women that he's the best candidate to put them back to work.
So if men vote for Democrats and women for Democrats and men for Republicans, do they cancel each other out, or is there still an advantage?
Well, more women vote than men in this country.
Right.
53-47.
Okay, so it's about jobs, it's about Mitt Romney, the crisis manager. That was always his main appeal. How's he doing on that front?
Well, the fact is that Mitt Romney hasn't really created jobs. I mean, Mitt Romney is now best known as a job destroyer. We know that he was a venture capitalist who put a lot of people out of work. I think that the attention to his tax returns, the fact that he's paying such a lower rate than the vast majority of working people out there, I don't see any reason for American women or men to trust. I mean, to me, the idea that Mitt Romney, with these kind of outdated austerity economics, is going to fix the American economy. I know it's a popular fantasy here, but I don't think it's very convincing.
But if you look at the numbers,
I just want to say, you know what's funny about this? Is that I saw Newsweek, who you work for, actually at Staples, which is about 4 blocks from here. Staples was Mitt Romney's. And you all are actually buying your products for what you do here, your pencils and your paper, from the very company that Mitt Romney created.
Which is one company. But my point was going to be this. If you look at the numbers, Mitt Romney is doing better on fixing the economy, a lot better than Barack Obama. And the economy is the #1 issue in this election. So isn't that something important to keep into account?
Basically, what the public says is this. Mitt Romney can solve their problems, but they're not sure if he understands them. Barack Obama understands them, but they don't think they can solve their problems. So the question is, do you want to vote for the guy you like, or do you want to vote for the guy that you respect?
Your response?
But it's not just that. I mean, people don't trust Mitt Romney on a whole bunch of things that affect their economic well-being. They, dislike his plan to privatize Medicare, to privatize Social Security. People are very nervous, not just about what Mitt Romney has in mind in terms of social issues, but in his kind of incredibly regressive and reactionary economic policies.
And why are they tied? If it's so bad, and by the way, I didn't know Newsweek actually had become a article of faith for the Democratic Party. You're giving great Democratic talking points.
I'm sorry.
I thought you worked for Newsweek.
Well, I don't represent Newsweek. I represent my own views, obviously.
So I wonder if Newsweek agrees with this. But my question is, if it's so bad for Mitt Romney, why is he tied with Barack Obama?
Well, I would say that the economy is in crisis.
Okay.
And yet people are still reluctant to vote in a challenger. Under any other, I think Obama is hugely outperforming his.
Okay, go ahead.
Please. And that is exactly why Mitt Romney has gained 4 or 5 points in the polls recently, because they don't think that Barack Obama can solve the economy.
Okay, but couldn't you turn around and say, considering the state the economy's in, shouldn't Mitt Romney be doing a lot better? He just hasn't connected with ordinary voters.
Absolutely. In fact, based on Obama's performance over the last 4 years, Mitt Romney should be 5 or 6 points ahead. We have never elected anyone in this country with a job approval rating of under 48%. Consistently, Barack Obama's been at 44, 45%.
Okay, now, Europeans, or people in Britain for that matter, they find it inconceivable that Mitt Romney could be the next president of the United States. Will they get a big wake-up call on November the 7th?
At this point, Barack Obama has the lead. He's winning in most of the key swing states, but only by 1% or 2. Let's ask that question 48 hours from now, and we may have a clearer picture.
Can he say, or indeed anyone around him, say anything at this convention to change the minds of the undecided voters, that tiny sliver of the population in the middle that are still, watching all this on their
I actually don't think that it's very clear that undecided voters are watching this. I mean, we kind of fetishize undecided voters in this country, but undecided voters tend to be the most disengaged and kind of uninterested in politics. So I actually don't know that they're the people
so this
who
is playing
have...
to the gallery here.
Yeah, that would be my guess, and I don't know if you disagree about that.
I agree with her, and what a beautiful gallery it is. The undecideds will be watching the debates. We're going to have some of the highest debate viewership we've ever had in America.
But what should we be looking out for in the next few days? We heard Ann Romney yesterday trying to make him look like a great husband. We had Chris Christie giving him some red Republican meat. What does he have to say tomorrow for people to really understand who Mitt Romney actually is?
And the answer is that he has to communicate a sense of trust. Because right now, all Americans, Democrats, Republicans, Congress has a 10% job approval. The president's got a 45% job approval. We don't trust politicians. Romney has to demonstrate that there's a reason to trust him.
Can you create trust with one speech?
You cannot. You know what? I was about to say. No, actually, they have. We've got candidates who come here and rocked conventions. Barack Obama did it himself in 2004. So yes, you can, in a single speech, make a huge difference.
Right. Sarah Palin did something similar. Well, actually, it was rather different. She scared everyone, even in the convention 4 years ago, and then she flopped after that.
She went from...
Well, she electrified them for a while.
Yeah. She went from 3 points down to 4 points up in a matter of 96 hours. But then...
Isn't it true to say that this election is not about words, it is about numbers, it is about the state of the economy, and actually it'll be decided not here in this convention or indeed maybe in the living rooms of America, but what happens in the German economy, let's say, or the Eurozone in the next few weeks?
Well, if it's not decided here, then you and I won't be able to have this conversation 4 years from now, so we have to make this important. But for the viewers at home, it's all about, will I have a job a year from now, and which candidate is most likely to protect my job 5 years from now.
But you both think very briefly that Barack Obama will still be the next president of the United States? Yes or no?
I certainly hope so.
And he's got a narrow advantage right now. Again, ask me 48 hours from now, and I'll make a projection for you.
Frank Luntz, Michelle Goldberg, thank you very much indeed. Well,